Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans, just naked Ireland. We're driving into the beautiful town of Kinsale in County Cork, which is an historic port and a popular holiday destination at the mouth of the River Bandon. It's at the start, or if you prefer the finish point, of Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way, a beautiful scenic route stretching all the way up the west of Ireland's coastline to Donegal in the north. It looks quite pretty now, but please stay watching. This is nothing. You'll be amazed at the beauty of this town when I get out of the car and walk around. In 2020, it was rated among the 20 most beautiful villages in UK and Ireland. If it's not the most beautiful, then it's definitely the most colourful, as you'll soon see. So we're just heading in the direction of Eastern Road now, and I'm going to pull in here and get out and have a good look around, and maybe have a bite to eat. Already we're in a very pleasant shopping street, but the best is yet to come. We'll take a little walk around. The first thing that strikes you is the colourful buildings, but as I say, stay tuned because you ain't seen nothing yet. The town lies 25 kilometres south of Cork City and has a population of about 5,500, which swells in the summertime due to the influx of tourists. It's twinned with Newport, Rhode Island, Antibes in the south of France, and Mumbles in Wales. Is it pronounced Mumbles? I have no idea. Now look at this very beautiful little square, and remember we're visiting in winter, so you can only imagine what the atmosphere would be like here on a warm Saturday night in the middle of August. I'm certain this gastro pub would be a popular place. And just look at these buildings. We'll be passing the front of these a bit later. There's a lot of boutique craft shops and galleries reflecting the large artistic community that's settled here. And of course there's plenty of pubs. This is Ireland after all. So I'm off now to find somewhere to eat. The town has quite a few good restaurants, the most famous of which is the Michelin-starred Bastion restaurant. Indeed, the famous chef Keith Floyd was a previous resident of the town. But we're dining in a much more humble place today, a great fish and chip shop called Dino's. Mind you, just to call it a fish and chip shop is perhaps to do it some disservice, as it is quite a comprehensive menu. But the great thing about this place is the freshness of its seafood, and as one expects in Ireland, the helpings are piled sky high on your plate. There's also a great view of the harbour from the restaurant. There are some amazingly historic buildings in the general area. Desmond Castle, for example, originally the town's custom house, dates back to 1500. It was also used to incarcerate French and Spanish prisoners during the 17th century and became known as the French prison. As I say, this town is rich in history, one of the most important events being the Battle of Kinsale in 1601, which took place after the Spanish Armada landed here to hook up with Irish rebels whose common cause was to attack England. The Spanish and their Irish allies, led by Ulster princes Red Hugh O'Neill and Rory O'Donnell, were beaten by the English, and this was a turning point in Irish history, signalling the end of the old Gaelic order, as O'Donnell and O'Neill went into exile in Europe in 1607 in an event known as the Flight of the Earls. Two forts then came to be built as a means of guarding the narrow harbour from future landings, either by French or Spanish. James Fort and Charles Fort. They faced each other on either side of the water, and an underwater chain was used between the two forts to scuttle enemy boats in times of war. Perhaps I'll make a separate video of the forts at some point. It was also at Kinsale where James II landed with his army in 1689, supported by France's Louis XIV, and began his campaign to regain power. This culminated in his defeat by King William of Orange at the Battle of the Boyne, and that led to James scarpering back to France again via Kinsale. Now just look at the colourful houses and shops. Have you ever seen anything like this? As I said, if it's not the most beautiful town in Ireland, it's the most colourful. Actually, I'm not sure if it looks like an Irish town at all sometimes. It has a very European look to it, and of course, it's always had that European connection historically. So many quaint little shops. And there's also plenty of references to the town's origins as a medieval fishing port. But wherever you turn, there's always something beautiful to look at. It's a town that's well cared for and well looked after by its residents. Before I forget, this is the perfect moment to ask you to do all that YouTubey stuff, to like and subscribe. Many of you regularly watch Naked Ireland films without subscribing, which of course is fine, but I'd love it if you'd offer your support. I hope you're not too dazzled at this point by the almost psychedelic display of colour here. It's extraordinary. By the way, did you know that you can also buy me a pint now, if you feel I'm deserving? Technology's a wonderful thing. You'll find a link on how you can do that in the description below. This is such a wonderful little town just to get yourself lost in. And that's a rather grand stone building over there with a nice Range Rover outside. And so I might as well say that if you're so impressed with my video that you've decided to retire here, houses here don't come cheap. And so now we're walking along the street that we first drove down on our way into town. You really have to get out and walk around to appreciate a town like this though. Why don't you let me know in the comments if you've ever been to Kinsale? Maybe you even live here. How would you rate the town? Is it as nice as I say it is? It's always interesting to see the mix of buildings in towns like this. There's always some nice Georgian buildings, for example. And then of course there's the impressive waterfront, which offers a harbour for yachts, but also all manner of marine activities like deep sea angling, scuba diving, boat hire, fishing and kayaking. This is definitely a place you'll want to visit if you're coming to Ireland, or even if you're planning a staycation this year. So that's it for another episode, but I'll be back very soon with another Naked Ireland film.